Hey, everybody, and welcome to The Index. I'm your host, Alex Kahaya, and today I'm excited to be joined by Andrey Falaleev, CTO at Neon. They are Solana's network extension for seamless EVM, decentralized application integration. OG project on Solana that I've known for a long time. Disclaimer, I am an investor along with my business partner, Brian Fox. So I've known these guys for quite a while. Excited to have you on the show and just hear the updates and the latest on Neon. Thanks for being here.
Hello, guys. My name is Andrey. I'm Andrey, Andrew in different language. I heard a lot of nice, different interpretation of my name, but my original name, Andrey. Okay, I'm CTO of Neon Labs, and we are working on Neon EVM. It's a network extension for Solana. Solana is it's an ecosystem, and we're part of it.
Yeah, and tell me more about that. Why are you guys building this? What's the reason that you get out of bed in the morning to work on this? It's been an incredibly hard project to develop, right? Like you guys are. I think it's just to clarify for people, it's a little bit different than what you might have seen on the timeline on Twitter and stuff with all these L2s that are coming out. There's a lot of like Solana on Ethereum type L2s that you're seeing. This is actually Ethereum on Solana is like a way to think about it. So Ethereum applications that can actually settle to Solana mainnet and benefit from the speed, the cheapness, the reliability of the chain. Versus some of these other L2s are actually like using the Solana virtual machine to still settle back to Ethereum. So it's a bit of a different paradigm. But can you just talk about like why you guys decided to start this project and what gets you out of bed in the morning to work on such a hard problem? It's been technically very challenging, I know.
Yes, it's a very long story. In 2020, as Solana started gaining traction, we had the conversation with Anatoly how we can support growth of Solana. And he highlighted the demand of Ethereum, dApps, and Solana limitations. That it is impossible to deploy Ethereum application on Solana. It is impossible to bring Ethereum community to Solana. And what we can do? Our proposal was to develop an Ethereum virtual machine for Solana, which will enable to easy deployment of Ethereum dApps on Solana. It means that Ethereum application can be deployed. Ethereum users can go to the Ethereum applications in Solana and use it as a transaction processing engine. But it was at the start. It was the base idea because it was the early days of Solana when there were no a lot of applications on it, and the Neon EVM was a solution how this application can go to Solana. And it was very big challenge for us because after start we understood that it's not very easy task to implement it. Alex, a favorite session.
Yeah. So yeah, it was hard to implement, and you wanted to get these apps from Ethereum to be able to run on Solana. And can you tell me like a little bit more about how the technology works? Like how does it actually enable an Ethereum application to just sort of port over to Solana? And again, for people who need context on this, like on Ethereum, people write smart contracts in Solidity, and there's a bunch of developer tooling available that makes that possible. And for them to move to Solana natively, they have to kind of rewrite the whole piece of software, which is very expensive and time consuming. And so the idea here was that Neon could build a technology that would allow those applications to more or less just work on Solana without having to rewrite everything from the top down. So how did you actually enable that And where's the project today from a technical standpoint?
From the technical point, we on mainnet, we can process Ethereum like a transaction on Solana. So you can get any application from Ethereum, use any toolchain from Ethereum, compile it and your application and deploy it to Neon EVM on Solana. But at the start, we built a enclosed ecosystem on Solana. If you think in this way, you should understand that Ethereum application, when it will be deployed on an virtual machine on Solana, will work in a closed environment in Solana. And because you use Ethereum tools, you use web clients for Ethereum, you use Ethereum wallets and so on, it's a closed environment in Solana right now. It's not good, it's not bad. But our idea is that it's not enough because Solana, it's not just engine which can process transactions. It's ecosystem which already have application, which already have users, and they use its own environment. They use its own wallets, for example, Phantom. They use applications on Solana, for example, Radium, Orca, and many others, Jupiter, and Camino, and others. And right now, we decided that it's better to build a deep integration of these two ecosystems together. It's just words, but in simple examples. For example, you and Solana user, you have your assets active in Phantom Wallet, and what we want to do, we want to allow Ethereum application to process transaction from these Solana users. So you can just run Phantom in Ethereum application, which is run on Neon EVM, and sign transaction with Solana signature. You don't need to transfer your token to another wallet, to MetaMask, and split your active on two different wallets. It is better for user experience to use existing tools from Solana. So when we started, it was just closed environment, and you can use Grapples for Truffle, Hardhat, and other tools to develop your application. But when you deploy it on Neon EVM, you can build a web client which provide you access to Solana users. On chain, we are working on integration layer, which allow you from Solidity contract call Solana programs. And this deep integration should allow Solana users and Ethereum users to use advantages and application from both systems in one system. It's where we are right now.
Yeah, so Ethereum, any developer could just write an application and it will just work on both networks, is kind of what you're saying.
Yes.
And they write it using traditional Ethereum tools like Truffle, you mentioned, Solidity, and like make a web application that just works on either one. How does that work does the application just detect like, hey, you have Phantom and this is a Solana wallet and can I don't need ETH. I can just send a transaction and it uses
Yes, you can send transaction to Ethereum application on Neon EVM.
And what if I'm moving what if I'm like, let's say it's some DeFi thing that has like ETH in it. Okay, like I'm collateralizing ETH for DAI, okay, in some application. Can I submit transactions with my Solana wallet and move the ETH around? Does it work that way? Or is it...
Yes, if it on Neon, yes. it's it's a main feature is on which we are working right.
Okay, yeah. So as a user, I want to lock up my ETH in a smart contract to collateralize it to get DAI. I can do that using a Solana wallet and Sol, and I could send my ETH.
Yes.
But I don't have to switch wallets. How does it?
No, you don't want to switch wallets. It's how it works.
ETH in the wallet too.
So
ETH
if you have ETH in the same wallet, in for Phantom wallet, you have your ETH. It's a rapid ETH from the Ethereum, which you got from some bridge, for example, Wormhole or any other, and you have the rapid Ethereum in your Phantom wallet. It's a spell token in terms of Solana.
ETH. It's not native ETH. It's still wrapped ETH. It's not native ETH, but it's wrapped ETH on Solana, so it still works.
Yes.
It's not like I can just I still have to be interacting in the ecosystem that I'm on, right? Like the chain, it still has to be on Solana, whatever it is that I'm doing, or on ETH, whatever it is that I'm doing. But at least from a user's perspective, you don't have to switch wallets or applications or something. Like it can just all be in the same interface is what you're saying. And it just works to both environments.
Yes, it's a base idea. So you can use. What was the first request from Ethereum dApps when we started? The first request was that they wanted to access to Solana users, not just to deploy Ethereum applications in Solana to process transaction in parallel, fast processing, and so on. It's not interesting for them because you already have a lot of L2 layers in crypto. You can deploy your application to Arbitrum and get these big speeds of transaction processing, small block time, and so on. But it's and in this case, Neon EVM, it can provide more speeds that it can be provided by the Arbitrum. But what is the advantage for Ethereum application? Just in transaction processing? No, it's it's not a big advantage. Yes, Solana can do it, but for Ethereum application, it's more interesting to get access to Solana users. And for Solana users, it's more interesting to use Ethereum functionality on Solana without transferring their tokens to Ethereum, to L2 solution for Ethereum, and use Ethereum applications on some L2 solution. They want to use their assets inside of Solana, but they want to use functionality which is available for Ethereum users. Ethereum users,
a better example than the one that I gave would be I have Sol and I want to collateralize Sol for DAI, and which is a stablecoin.
Yes, it's more.
That's a better example, and I think the interesting thing about that, which is challenging, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, is you need liquidity to come over you need DAI liquidity, right? There's a whole ecosystem in that example, like on Aave or whatever, wherever people do this in Ethereum, where there's existing liquidity on chain in Ethereum that now has to come over to Solana in order to enable the minting of that asset or the collateralization or whatever, right? Same thing we go with an AMM, right? You need those pairs on Sol to make it happen. So
yes,
how are teams approaching that problem and getting some liquidity over so that then the users can participate? Because they need that, right?
Right, but how they can do it? In Neon EVM, they have a compatibility layer which allow you to call Solana, directly call Solana. Solana programs, Solana SPL token, Metaplex, and other application which is available on Solana. So what is interesting for applications? They can go to the platform, and it is already have liquidity. And in Solana, this liquidity is on Solana layer. So for Neon EVM, the main task how to provide access to this liquidity from Solidity contracts, and how to communicate with it. And this is the main task which we resolved. So you can use Ethereum-like interfaces like ERC20, ERC721, and others. But all your assets will be stored inside of a spell token. And you can use a spell token balances inside of contracts on Neon EVM. So you can deploy a contract and you don't need to bring liquidity from other chains. It is already exist on Solana, and it just to allow this application to process transaction with Solana liquidity called Solana users. It's a main task for us. After that, after implemented all this stuff, we built the system which already have liquidity, which already have users, and it can be interesting to for other application, for other users to go to this platform.
Interesting. So can you talk about some of the projects who are using Neon? Like, have you seen some projects adopting Neon, and what does that look like for you?
Right now, it's more about how we started. We communicate with different teams who understand how Solidity works. He know how to deploy, to develop Solidity contracts, and they can get Ethereum applications, make some changes inside or don't change it and deploy it on Neon EVM. So right now we have many forks of different popular projects from the Ethereum ecosystem. They're deployed on Neon EVM, and you can swap some tokens in fork of Uniswap on our platform. But right now on mainnet, you can do it only with MetaMask, and we understood that it's not enough, because if you use only MetaMask, you need to use some bridge to get assets from Solana. From Solana to Neon EVM, you need the bridge, because you need to transfer your tokens from one wallet to another wallet, and it was our mistake. When we did it, we built a closed environment, and right now we understood that it wasn't correct, and we decided, okay, we should change our mind. And right now we are working on functionality which I already described, that you can use Phantom and you don't need bridges anymore. So application already exists. What we want to do right now, we want to allow them to use to provide this functionality to Solana users, and they already have liquidity on Solana, and it's just open access for them to Solana users.
When you say you built it in a closed environment, what do you mean? What does that mean?
Okay, how it looks for user. If you user and you have a tools which you like to use, in Ethereum it is MetaMask, and most of users use MetaMask. It's Phantom support Ethereum users. You can choose Ethereum as your platform, but it is in another wallet. It is another network and if you use this way how you communicate with blockchains, you should transfer your tokens from one system to another system. So you have balance, but it is split between two different blockchains. And for example, you have a interesting swap rate in one system and interesting swap rate in another system, but balances, you cannot use the same balance in both of them. So you should decide what you will do. You will keep your assets in one system, or to split it into different system and use them. But when we are talking about Neon EVM, right now in the current implementation, in the current usage for users, they need to get tokens from Solana, transfer them to the MetaMask, because only MetaMask knows how to sign transactions, Ethereum for Neon EVM, and it's a quest for users. It's not useful.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yes, so it means that it's closed environment for Solana users. They should transfer.
It's essentially closed because they have to do all this work to get there, and so they were like not willing to do that work. And so you're saying it's just not really open for Solana users. Because I mean, I'm one of those users, right? Like I've been in the Solana ecosystem since 2021, like February of 21, and I haven't touched MetaMask maybe like 3 times in that time since then. And I was only in Ethereum before that, working at a company called Orchid that my partner Brian started with a couple other guys. And I like don't even know what's going on in Ethereum anymore. And the big reason I left is because we stopped using it is because it was so expensive and slow. Like it's that simple, it's just too expensive and too slow. And I like the user experience, especially for somebody like I got into crypto in late 2016. And the first time I did a transaction probably on Ethereum was like early 2017. And I remember like it was just $1,000, but back then for me, that was like a decent amount of money. And I was like, where is it? I sent it somewhere. What's happening? You wait like 15 minutes and it's just like, okay, it's still not there. It just makes you kind of nervous, right? Especially when you're used to Web 2.0 and things just sort of happen. Like you send an email, it pretty much shows up like right away. And that's how Solana transactions are. So, interesting to see you guys starting to enable some similar features for EVM based applications. So what's your time frame? I guess one thing I want to ask you about actually is like network extensions. Like,
Yes.
What is a network extension to you? What, in your opinion?
Okay. When we try to describe what is Neon EVM for users, we try to use different words to describe it. And it's in English you have word bridge, and bridge it's something which integrate two systems together. And when you talk about bridge for users, for crypto users, they hear bridge and understand it's some application which allow you to get assets from one blockchain and bring to another. And if we talk about our platform like a bridge for Ethereum and Solana, they started to think, okay, if it is bridge, it means that the Neon EVM is L2 solution. L2 solution for what platform? For Ethereum, yes. For Ethereum, it's L2 solution because it uses another settlement layer, another data availability layer, another execution layer, and so on. But for Solana, we are not a bridge because Solana processes our transactions. We store all data inside of Solana, and Solana validators validate our transactions. We program on the Solana. So for if we're talking about bridge, it doesn't give you understanding what we are. And after that, we try to find some word which can describe us. And we discussed, we had many communication sides with the team and understood. Extension. Extension is a very interesting word which describe our functionality on Solana, because everything happens on Solana. We just provide some interface to communicate with Solana. And this interface allow you to use Ethereum tools on the Solana. So we are not a bridge. We are not a L2 solution for Solana. We are part of Solana. And when we did it, when we change our understanding of our platform, we understand that we should give more abilities to Solana users, which I described before. So they should use Solana tools in our applications, which is deployed on Neon EVM, and at the same time they can use Ethereum tools on our platform too. So we just extend functionality of Solana and we have the same speeds, we have the same costs, we have I don't know, the same finalization times of the Solana. So this is our understanding of extension. We're not all to solution for Solana.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I mean, it really is just exactly what you said. It's an extension of functionality. And I think from a technical standpoint, there is like you guys have everything is validated by validators on mainnet, but I've seen like the diagrams a long time ago, so this has probably changed, but there are like servers in between that are kind of like what you would think like a sequencer might be, but that's not really exactly accurate. But there is a way that like there is an interface, like an actual server that's doing some kind of job to like route transactions to Solana, right? From the application. And so that's the layer that makes it an extension versus like something that's directly on mainnet. There is like this interface piece that is different, and it just provides that translation of ETH functionality to Solana functionality. And I'm getting like a kind of in the weeds here, but that I do think you guys are one of the few actual network extensions. Like there's some teams calling themselves network extensions, but they're not really. And I don't really care about the semantics, to be honest. It's just kind of a word. But it is useful from a marketing standpoint to be able to like educate people on what you're doing and extending that functionality. So my last question for you, because we're getting towards the top of the show, but is like, what have I not asked you that I should have asked or that you wanted to share with people about Neon?
What I want to share about Neon. Long story. It's interesting. I can start. I should start from the beginning. What is Solana? Solana is a fast blockchain, but it's virtual machine is a lightweight virtual machine which can process your code very fast. But when you start working with it, it is not the same like in Ethereum. In Ethereum, virtual machine is something more. It's an security layer which allow you to build compatibility between application which is running on Ethereum. You can call any program, any Ethereum application from another application. And it is possible because Ethereum built some interfaces and some standards how you should build your applications. Also, a virtual machine provide you security layer which how to say it, provide additional security to assets inside of the contract in the Ethereum virtual machine. And when you go to Solana, you don't have this security layer. Everything in Solana should happen outside of Solana. Indexing, building transaction which will be executed on the Solana should be built outside. It's minimal actions inside of Solana which you can do. You should build a big infrastructure outside of Solana to provide some functionality to users. What is Neon EVM? Neon EVM is an integration layer which allow process some actions on chain because you have the same compatibility layer like an Ethereum. You send transaction and on chain you decide in which way this transaction will be processed. You don't build it outside. You don't index it outside. And what is the future for Neon EVM? For Neon EVM, it's a build some automated system which allow you to build complex application on the Solana. Not just a simple program which just swap some token to another token. It is a layer which allow you to build complex transaction which can swap one token, another token, aggregate them, do some actions inside of contracts, and you can build this infrastructure of your contracts on chain using Neon EVM. And this is our goal. It's to build some system which allow you to index, to build on-chain actions and use for it Ethereum standards, Ethereum, how to say it, DeFi layer, how they call it. When you build different blocks and build integration with NSM. This is our value for Solana.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, enabling the best of both worlds. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. It's been great to have you here, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Alex.